little thing. You get all love and brain.
What's up, everybody? This is Music Matisse. Welcome to another exciting episode of In Studio, the SMG Solo Music Group podcast. We are joined today by two gentlemen who are brothers and know their last name is not Jackson. Okay. They've been in the music industry, just doing their thing independently. You name it, they've done it. They're very talented. Let's give a warm round of applause to Jake and Papa. Welcome to In Studio. What's going on? Absolutely. We thank you for your time, man. Introduce yourselves so the ladies know who's who, gentlemen.
I'm Jake. And I'm Papa.
Okay. Who's the oldest?
I'm the oldest.
Okay, by how much? How many years?
We're 20 months apart.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Now that's something we ain't know right there.
Wow. Okay. And we do know that y'all come from a very large family. How many other siblings?
It's 12. 13 of us.
13 of us all together.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, salute to everybody. So let's get right into it. As far as Jake and Papa is concerned, how long have you guys been in the business of music? And from the very beginning up until present day, how long has it been?
We was kind of born into it, because our pops is a singer and our mom has been doing, hair of people in the business since we was like, one of my earliest memories is her doing Rosie Perez's hair in our kitchen, so,
wow.
And Lynn Whitfield, Holly Robinson, all of them was in the kitchen. So, but we got our professional start as Jake and Papa in 2011.
Okay. What was there anything that led up to that? Do you have other siblings? Because I know, as we said, you have a large family, but what led to it just being Jake and Papa in 2011?
It was an intense trajectory of really full circle moment because our first talent show ever was just us two. And so we were making music with us two as far back as I can remember. Some of my first memories are being in the studio and just us two as young boys. And then we ended up going through a completely different path, which was, with more of our siblings. And it was a beautiful experience. But then that ended up imploding and disbanding. And then we came back around full circle and realized that it was pretty much just meant to be this way. We started making the best of our lives, the best visuals of our lives. And so we did our first talent show when he was 4 and I was 5. So that was really like Jake and Papa started doing talent shows in like elementary school. And then we even had they had us in the studio at like 8 and 9 years old. So our latest project, right, is called Blackberry Winter. And the picture of us on there is us when we were I think 9 and 10 years old. And the reason why we took that picture in those clothes is because we was recording music and, our mom was trying to get some pictures of us in some dope clothes and put a whole package together. So we've been grinding for a minute.
Right. Oh, you definitely have been putting dues in and paying the cost to be the bosses that you become. Blackberry Winter, that's an interesting album title. Where did that derive from?
Man, it's just, sometimes the darkest and coldest times produce some of the sweetest memories, if you do it the right way. You know what I'm saying? It's taking darkness and taking cold times and making it something sweet, making it light. We have the power to create whatever experience for ourselves that we want to. We have the power to decide whether our days were good or bad. We have the power to decide how our story is told.
Right. Okay. Now, is this a full album or is this an EP?
It's an EP. Yeah. We've been coming with EPs because we have so much music to share, but we also don't want to. We want to baby step through the process because we have an album that we are actually working towards. It's literally packaged and mixed and ready to go, and we just feel like there's work that needs to be done before we put it out. And so we're baby stepping towards that, which is going to come very soon, man. We have tours to go on. We have singles to drop before we get to that album. We feel like that album is going to impact the world in a very powerful way. So it's just an EP, man. And there's more to come. There's a lot of music coming this year, man.
Okay. Now, when we talk about music and you said you have tours to come as well, is this stuff that was already booked prior to COVID, or is this stuff that's up and coming? Is it around the corner? Do your fans have to wait a while or wait longer rather before we see these tours? Give us the rundown on that.
So we didn't actually have a tour planned before COVID, but we were always on the road. Like, we are independent and we pretty much, you know, control our destiny to the best of our ability. So we, at any given moment, we drop some music and hop in a van and just go from here to there, you know, up, down, side to side. So now that the gates are opening back up, outside is opening back up, we're about to pick it right back where we left off. We just did a show 3 days ago, our first show in like a year. And it was like a small little intimate mixer type thing for more so industry people. But like Jake said, we have a lot of music that's about to drop from here until the end of the year. So with that, we're probably gonna hit what's one of them rental places? Hit one of them places and grab a van. Hertz, you're gonna hit Hertz, grab us a van and make it happen. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing like strategically planned, but you know, as it unfolds, you will know.
Right. Now, it's interesting to hear you say hit Hertz and do it basically the old-fashioned way in this modern day of doing things, because you get a lot, particularly, you know, a lot of the hip-hop artists and some of the urban artists that are out today, they would look at you crazy if you as a manager or a label or just a promoter or someone behind them that's pushing them, you say, get in a van. They expect the, you know, the big tour bus with the kitchen and the, you know, all the fancy appliances and the technology updated. Do you get, obviously that doesn't make a difference with you all. So with everything that you've put in so far, what keeps you two driven to constantly push for this thing?
It's a great question, brother.
It's probably so many things, man. Like, my mom told us when we was young, right? She said, if you have a dream, you got to pursue it, because God wouldn't put anything in your heart if it wasn't for you. He wouldn't torture you like that. So no matter how difficult, no matter how hard things get, I always remember that. And I realized that everything is just a test and everything is working, you know, in God's plan. You know, it's God's plan. So I have to wait for his timing to unfold. So I just got to keep working.
Right. I got to keep that in mind as far as that analogy she used. That's a great thing to keep in mind, because that's a struggle. You guys know that. That's an internal fight when you got something you're so passionate about and you're climbing. The world doesn't see it, but you know that when they do, when they catch on, it's going to be phenomenal. So I salute to you all for that. So Blackberry winner, and I'm still fixated on that title because I think that's amazing. It's just a nice play on words. Let's talk about the creation, the creativity, the writing, the production. Did you all do everything, or did you work with other writers and producers?
We wrote and sang everything, and we got the music produced by a small team of people that we really, really mess with. So Kawhi did a lot. I told Kawhi the other day, he's my favorite producer, man. Like, he's literally just like our brother now, but he just understands the vibration. He just gets it, man. And then we have Deshaun Allen. It's like a family, you know, that we have.
Right.
And then whenever we need live composition, we have a small family for that too. But for this one, it was that small team, but we write everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you guys play as far as instruments?
I play a little bit of piano. I play piano by ear. I would have been better if I actually would have stayed in college, but I just, you know. And then I also play, it's an instrument that I'm obsessed with right now called the handpan. That it's a really beautiful sound. It resonates very heavily when you're in the room with it, man. It's a meditative instrument. So it's like a drum. You play it like a drum, but it comes in different keys. So it actually hits notes when you hit it. I love that. So I carry it literally everywhere and I play everywhere. Okay.
How long have you guys been in the game, if you had to put any kind of like chronological years to it? Because you're still very young men, and you said at the beginning you started at 4 and 5. You know, so how long has it been so far?
I would say, like, you know, as far as how the industry looks at it, you know what I'm saying? Like taking meetings and putting out projects and stuff like that. I would say since 03, 04.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what made you decide since that time to pretty much, with the exception of one particular project, and I'll get to that in a second, what made you all decide to majority of that time stay mostly independent, or were you majority independent most of your careers?
Yeah, we were majority independent. There was a stint where we were assigned to a label, but before and after that, the independent grind, I mean, we've been in the trenches, like working. We have a certain type of work ethic because of how our mom raised us. So she literally used to do hair till her fingers bled. So we just grew up seeing certain type of thing where you don't really wait for nobody. You kind of get out there, get it yourself. You do it until you become obsessed with it, almost until you feel satisfied. And it's like, that's not necessarily cohesive with the label perspective of an artist. And so, which we did get a good experience on the label. It was definitely a transcending experience, but the independent lifestyle is just a little more cohesive with our innate perspective on life and creating. So it's yeah, man, especially lately. It's great.
Yeah. Like what we have planned for the rest of the year is crazy. And we know from experience that if we tried to take this plan we have to a label, they'd be like, but maybe we,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's a beautiful feeling to be able to control your destiny and and feed your supporters. You know what I'm saying? Like I liken your supporters and your support system to like having a girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? Like if you meet a girl on Friday night and you call her on Saturday and y'all go out on Monday and you don't call her again until the next Tuesday, between that time, she probably met somebody else. She probably going on other dates and she probably, out of sight, out of mind. So we try to continue to feed the people who support us and make sure that relationship is long lasting.
Right. Okay. That's understood. Can we talk about Brother?
Yeah. You've been trying to get to that, huh?
No. I'm gonna tell you why. I remember the reality show, and I'm very proud of my age. So I'm aware of, your family members as they were coming up, because I was fans of theirs when I was a kid. And it's been that long. I've been blessed to be here that long, fellas. You ain't had to say the you know what I mean? Trust me, there's still a lot of life left here, brother. But no, just seeing that reality series on BET, I was kind of disappointed because I thought it was going to come back. I remember it only being one season.
Yeah.
And I expected it as I'm watching it, I expected it to be around for a while. I actually brought the CD and I thought it was really good. So, give us a brief overview of what that experience was like for you two, because obviously it didn't stop Jake and Papa.
Right. I mean, well, we gotta, take our hats off to that situation. And we, I definitely learned a lot. A lot of the things that we apply to this independent grind are things that we learned from that experience, just on how to move business wise.
Right.
We were really, really young, and it was a blessing to be able to soak up that game at an early age. Rest in peace to Shakir Stewart. He played an integral part in, a lot of the moves we were making, as well as our Uncle Drano. And it was just an eye-opening experience, man. It just showed us how shit is supposed to move, how it's supposed to be done, So it only lasted for a short amount of time, but we got a lifetime worth of game from it.
Okay. Let's talk real briefly in regards to that about Shakir. May he rest in peace. For people who don't know, this young man was like one of the most promising music executives in the business. He had made some serious moves. He was on the rise, and may he rest in peace. But if that brother would have gotten anywhere near his peak, he would have had the entire game, hip hop, R&B, from the executive side, the business side. For people who don't know, he would have had the game on lock. Okay. I salute him, in the memory of him and people like Chris Lighty as well. These are the guys that, when I'm out there pounding the pavement and trying to get my pinky toe in the door, whether it's at a magazine, whether it's internet, radio, what have you, these are the names that I'm hearing. These are the guys that are making the moves. And a lot of times even kids don't understand that from behind the scenes, it's another whole different world. You see the artist, but you don't see what it takes to make that artist the artist.
Yeah, absolutely.
So definitely I want to tip my hat and salute to him and definitely send him a rest in peace and still, well wishes for his family and everything. We come through that. Jake and Papa are still together and doing their thing, as we see. Very talented vocalists, writers, and producers. Have you all had a chance to test the waters as far as your audience overseas yet? In Europe in particular.
Yeah, we get to look at our analytics and, we have a lot of support over there that we would love to go nourish, man. Like we've been wanting to do that for a long time, and the stars just haven't aligned in that aspect yet. But there's so much support over there, man, and we're definitely going to be getting down there soon. The goal has been to get down there. Like, that's been one of the main goals for the last couple of years. But, you know, when COVID happened, it kind of slowed everything down. But the beauty of all of this is that during the quarantine and up until this point, we had, you know, Patient came out and Spelling and Diamonds is out, and they're doing pretty well. And so the momentum from that is honestly going to take us over there. We promise y'all, we're going to be over there soon, because those two songs are tripping over there.
Yeah,
right.
I just looked at our analytics on Apple Music the other day, and the number 3 city is the number 3 country is Japan.
Wow. Okay.
Out of everything, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I was like, it's a blessing to be able to, you know, feed people over there, and we haven't even been there yet. So.
Right. Yeah, what made me ask that question is I was watching some of the clips that you guys have on IG for the latest singles and stuff you've done in the past few years. And I know for a fact you guys would do very well over there. It would be a very minor push with the right things in place between Japan and even throughout Europe and London, the Netherlands and Germany.
Oh, man.
Like y'all would do very well over there. You know,
thank you, brother. It's coming, man. Coming.
Trust me, it is. It's not going to take. I don't think in Europe. I don't think it's going to take as much as an effort as compared to what you're doing here in the States. You know what I mean? They were always, no matter what you see in the media. I had the pleasure of living over there for almost 3 years in Germany, and it blew my mind, man. It's like this 18-year-old kid from the hood in Brooklyn, born and raised. And then I get over there for 3 years. And it was just the way that music was received, the way our culture, the way we as a people and the things we did and the things we influenced, it was just like an open book, and they soaked it all up and they supported it. So I'm going to sit back and enjoy watching you guys go over there. Just do me a favor. Let us know when you're going, and we'll do as much as we can from here to help cover that situation, whether it's student and everything else, because that's going to be exciting for sure. What do you all think of the current state of R&B music for your generation and the generations that are right behind yours today?
I love it. You know, if you go to Apple Music and go to this playlist called R&B Now or Brown Sugar, you're gonna get fed. You know what I'm saying? It's like It's probably 200 songs on that R&B Now playlist, and it's all different artists and all different kinds of R&B too. So whether you like traditional, ambient, alternative, whatever, like, you know, all these different types of R&B are there. So I feel like the platforms for R&B are getting bigger and bigger. Like you see what Her's doing. Jasmine Sullivan was at the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? Like she just won an Oscar. She ain't even put an album out. So
exactly.
Yeah, the gates are opening back up. People are gravitating back towards R&B, and the platforms will get bigger for us.
Right. Okay. Do you all have a booking agent that's actually actively looking for dates, or are you just handling it independently as well?
We've been doing it independently for now, but hopefully soon enough we'll have somebody to help us out with that, because it's a lot, man. It's a team of 4 of us, and we do it all, bro. Including the clothing line too. It's a 4-person team. So soon enough, man.
Right. Speaking of which, let's talk about the clothing line. Give us the acronym and when did that develop and how did that come about?
Yeah, ROSE stands for Real One Still Exists. And it actually was an idea in my mind in 2013. That's when it started. And it was just an idea. And I made a t-shirt and some shorts for my birthday party. And I was like, man, this might be kind of tight, but, there was so much going on. I didn't really invest my time into it. Then fast forward to 2018. 2018, we put out a tape called the ROSE Tape, Real One Still Exists. And DJ Charisma hosted it. So after that tape came out, we did some shows, and it was time to do some merch for it. So people started really eating up that merch. Like, we had to keep restocking. People started getting tattoos with the acronym, and we was like, yo, this is something. So now, fast forward a few years, and we got everything from hats, hoodies, t-shirts. We got dominoes. You know what I'm saying? Like, we working on our cut and sew pieces. This is a fitted hat. You know what I'm saying? We got our own fitted hats. Like, so yeah, the sky's the limit. It's just another way for us to express ourselves. You know, offering a piece of Jake and Papa through clothing.
Right. I laughed, or chuckled rather, when you said you're working on your cut and sew pieces. That's telling me you're on your business. Because a lot of times you'll hear people say, well, I got a clothing line. And then you start to talk about material and texture and different textiles of material and the difference between this fabric and that fabric. And you get to cut and sew and you get to, you know, all the intricate parts of design. And then sit there and look at me like I got 5 heads. I got a big fat head, but I mean, goddamn, it's not 5 of them.
No, bro, I'm in the fabric stores, picking the fabrics. I'm smelling the fabrics, brushing it up my skin. Like, that's one of my favorite things to do. So yeah, I've been learning a lot over the past, you know, probably 7 or 8 years just when it comes to fashion, period. So yeah, we finally putting a lot of these pieces in play.
You guys are bringing a lot to the table. Now I'm gonna play devil's advocate. I'm Music Matisse. I'm the CEO of Warner Music. I'm the CEO of Universal Music Group. And I come to the table and basically let your staff, your attorneys, your handlers, management, etc. know that I want to offer you guys a 360 deal that would include an advance that, of course, from my end would be recoupable if I'm, quote unquote, the label. Would that be something with a major like a Warner Brothers or Universal that you all would be interested in at this point? Or is it something you would basically just not want to entertain at all? Like, thank you, but no thank you.
You know, I remember when 360s first started becoming prominent, especially amongst the newer artists. And, you know, it was like this big deal because it was like the labels were getting desperate and like it was, sign a slave deal, like putting the shackles on, you know? It has a what's the word I'm looking for? Like an indentured servant context. And it's really interesting. We're not really interested in it, but you know, look, if you know your business and you got the proper lawyers and you know how to get your money right and recoup that shit without, my bad, can I cuss on here?
Yeah, you're fine, bro. You're fine.
Yeah, then, you know, y'all, you know, just because I know independent artists are listening to this right here, and I hate when people just give it a one-size-fits-all type situation. You never know what you may be able to do to make your dream happen, and you may need that bread because there's a lot of people telling you not to take that bread and not telling you everything that they did to get to where they got. A lot of them took bread in a dirtier way. And so I would say to look at the paperwork, figure out what it is that works best for you as an artist and as a business person, and see if it's in correlation with your specific vision. It's not necessarily in correlation with our specific vision because we've come so far along our specific journey that we don't need the money that bad to say that you're going to get a percentage of everything. For example, he literally told you the history of Rose, right? The history of Rose is absolutely, and this is interesting because somebody offered us some bread not too long ago. And it was just interesting seeing his perspective, you know? He started this without anybody, without nobody's input, without nobody's money, without nobody's nothing. And it's gotten to where it is now because of his vision, his work ethic, because of teamwork, because of almost, and I say it again, obsession with a positive concept with his craft. And there was a dude who offered us a little bit of bread and said he wants a little bit of everything, including the clothing line. And so that's basically saying that even though you had absolutely nothing to do with the inception and dissemination of this concept, you want a piece of it just because you're giving us some bread. I don't like the fiat dollar that much, brother. You know, like you can go ahead and do what you want somewhere else. Artists may need that, you know? But for us, there's money that you can get out there that doesn't necessarily take from you in that capacity. You're gonna have to recoup it. I don't want anybody to be out there thinking you're not gonna have to recoup something. Anything you borrow, you have to recoup, you know, but it's gonna be in different magnitudes. So I would say just find a deal that's best for you, you know.
Now, with that being said, you guys have been through the era of CDs and purchasing CDs and record stores. Now we're in nothing but the streaming era. What's your philosophy on the two? Do you like one over the other? Do you see it as a natural evolution? Or would you rather go back to the days of CDs and record sales?
Well, I mean, shoot, in 2021, if you want to go back, then you already lost. You know what I'm saying? It's we moving forward. So it's adapt or die. So, you know, I think that we're still at a stage where we're like the whole system is being worked out as far as what artists get, you know, what artists get paid out and all of that. But for right now, I like it. Chris Brown cracked the code by putting 30 songs or 40 songs on an album and spending X amount of times on the charts, because he realized that putting all these songs that stream at this level turn into this status. Right. You know what I'm saying? So once you understand what all of this means, then you can make it work, you know, make it work for you. So I love it, you know, especially when you got the clothes going at the same time. Like I was just talking to the homie Chase, and he was like, yo, bro, like how much do you sell a song for on iTunes? It'd be $1.29. I was like, yeah. He's like, how much you sell a t-shirt for? I'm like, shit, $40. He's like, exactly.
There you go.
So, you know, if you could find a way to do both, and you know, you do the groundwork so your streams is up, then you just tackling it from all angles. You just got to find the positive in everything. Right. At the end of the day, this shit is gonna move and go forward with or without you. So either figure out a way to make it work or don't.
Right. And speaking of moving forward, we all were under lockdown, in-home house arrest for 2020. How has COVID, the pandemic itself, the whole trauma of the presidential election, the police brutality cases, has this affected you guys or your family indirectly or directly over the past year?
I was going to say, as far as the one thing that I noticed, there's a positive and a negative. The positive is we got to buckle down and create a lot of content, you know, and we got to put that content out. It kind of leveled the playing field for all artists. Nobody could really go on tour. So everybody was pretty much just locked in on Instagram and TikTok. So that actually worked in our benefit. One negative is we are very family-oriented people. Our family was always getting together at our grandma's or our mom's house. And, you know, it's probably 10 to 20 of us that get together on a regular. So that was halted for a long time. So we were kind of, you know, our family was affected by that, just like everybody, you know. So, you know, other than that, though, I think it was more positive than negative. I know my brother got something to say, but just as far as the police brutality and stuff, I don't want to say that I'm numb to it, but man, just to give people watching a backstory, like I don't want to be negative or nothing, but when I was 16, I was riding in the car with the homie. I got pulled out the car. We was hemmed up and all sorts of shit. Like I've been dealing with this shit my whole life. So this shit ain't nothing new to me. You know, people was writing songs about it way, way back in the 70s. So, you know, that shit, it's here. It's just, I feel like it's more publicized because we got cameras now.
Right. Understood.
Well, I will say, there was a guy being interviewed. He used to be in the CIA. I don't talk about this a lot because it's you know, I like to just sit back and watch. I grew up a very introverted person, so I like to just kind of sit and watch the play unfold. You know, there was a guy from the CIA being interviewed, and he said that he was ex-CIA, so he left and was like kind of rebelling against everything. Somebody said, "What's the most powerful weapon in Western civilization?" He said, "The television." He's like, if you can X out anything from your daily routine, take away the television. And so I say that to say there was another interview where this cop was being interviewed, right? He was a black cop, and he was saying like a lot of bullshit in there. It was like pissing me off, but I was like, I'm gonna just watch this just to see if there's anything positive I get from this interview. Right. And he says one of the things he was said was, see, what y'all don't understand is he was sticking up for cops. He's like, what y'all don't understand is white people in ratio get killed or shot. White people get shot by the police more than black people, right? And I have to pause it and think that if by chance he's right, there's a reason why we never see the videos. And if by chance he's wrong, then that means that they are blatantly lying. Right. To our faces, because this is on document where they say white people, you know? And so I say that to say there's a reason why you see somebody get shot every day. It's a very inhumane and irrational thing to see someone die on a phone and then not like get flagged, you know? Like, so we watch black men get killed by the police all the time and black women get beat up by the police all the time. And there's a reason why. So what I will say is allowing this stuff to impact your emotions, and those emotions start triggering actions that have absolutely no root in universal oneness or the absolute truth is a very dangerous thing for our people, especially being in a foreign land where we're not home and we're out here trying to figure it out as we go.
Right.
And so if everybody could just turn the TV off for a second and enjoy silence, you know, one of the things I appreciated most about quarantine was fucking silence. Like we hadn't stopped since we was in middle school. And so we had to stop. They made us stop, and we got to probably backfired on them a little bit because people started reading more, you know? Started reading more. We started watching documentaries and shit. They fucked around and put out 2 of the craziest documentaries we've ever seen. I ain't even gonna say them on here because this shit might get flagged, you know? It's like, but we seen the shit during quarantine where we had to be silent and look inward and then actually detail some information. So it's all, you know, this whole thing, it feels like a big, it feels like we're in a big play, you know? And if you could just see it as entertainment, because the US is a corporation that is built on entertainment, you know, just fucking take it for entertainment and put your focus on things that are in correlation with absolute truth.
Right. Dealing with all of this, did it make you all go with the time that you did have? Did it make you become more intense? Did you find more depth as writers?
Oh yeah, yeah, man, it was popping, dude. Like I had a great quarantine, you know, like, and it sucks because we had a friend kill himself during quarantine. So it's like, I know that people didn't take that well. Human isolation is one of the worst things you can do to a human is take him away from humans.
Right.
And so I know it was hard for a lot of people, man. I was blessed to have an amazing when I dove very deep inward. I read a lot of our master teachers. We was getting sound bowls, and I learned how to do sound baths and was learning new forms of meditation, and all that allowed me to kind of dive into my craft way better. So I'm super grateful, man.
Right. Okay. Where are you all originally from?
I'm from LA. We grew up in the San Fernando Valley.
Okay. Still there?
Yep.
Yeah, we're
right
now. California's like a drug. Trust me, man. The first time I went, I didn't want to leave. And I know it has its ups and downs. Nowhere is perfect. But...
Hey, to be honest with you, bro, like I have a plan, and my girl hates this, but I have a plan to move to Atlanta, Georgia by 2025.
Really?
But, yeah. I mean, but you know, our family's from here, bro. Like I said, we're family oriented people. Like our grandma was raised here. Right. You know, like a lot of people are only like first or second generation. We got 3-4 generations of family in Los Angeles. So,
wow.
You know, I can't really imagine being nowhere else, but I would like to, you know, spread my wings and get a feel somewhere else.
Right. Okay. So outside of pushing this project, outside of the clothing line, is there anything else that your current fans and potential new fans should know that's going on right now, 2021? The world's opening back up, you know, with Jake and Papa.
Yeah. Okay. First and foremost, Spelling in Diamonds is out right now. Watch the video. We directed it. We had a lot of fun with it. Patient is out right now.
We directed that too.
We directed that video. It was super fun. We're having a great time creating our content. So check those out. But also we have some placements coming on
the Shy.
On the Shy. So I will say this, right?
Okay.
And we got, you know, we shout out to Lena, shout out to Big Tank, shout out to the people who are always constantly showing up. We had some stuff in there last time. This time, this song that's placed on the Shy is gonna kick off a lot of music dropping, and it's gonna be in a way, you know, when you have quality and quantity. That's another thing that we were able to do during quarantine was record a lot of quality content.
It's a lot of cues.
You know, quarantine quality content. I'm talking about.
Right.
So it's tricky because because the way we about to go, bro, it is gonna be so fun. Like we just have so much music to share, so many visuals to share.
Yeah.
And it's all getting kicked off with this first placement on the Shy. We did the song with our brother Deshaun, and it's gonna be a really powerful year, man. So just look out for the music. Follow us on all of our social joints because some of the videos are going to be dropping only on Instagram. Some will be on YouTube. You know, it's going to be a lot of fun stuff, man.
Okay. Well, as I told you before we started recording, we're growing. So I'm just going to be reposting everything you guys put up, you know, and tagging you in it and just, you know, helping to spread the word, man. And that's a good thing. So one thing you tapped on, though, before we wrap up is the placements. And again, artists don't really understand how important that is. There's so many different ways you can actually make money off of your music.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely.
So
hey, and it was a tough one to crack, baby. Woo!
talk to us. Why was it a tough one?
Man, hey, check this out. Hey, I'll say about 7-8 years ago, we got a phone call from somebody, and it was like, "Yo, I got this plug for everybody." Always says like, "We're writing for this." Like, no, you're writing in hopes to get to this.
Right.
Anyway, so they sold us on this dream, talking about, yeah, we about to write some songs for Think Like a Man too, and blah blah blah. Like, okay, say less. Like, now we was at that point, we was like, any opportunity, you give us a call, we pulling up. So we was in the studio, bro, like 10 hours.
Yeah,
we was in the studio for like
10 hours.
2 days, 10 hours. We probably did like 7 songs.
Man,
turns out this person's plug wasn't as solid as they say. So all that work was, whatever. But you live and you learn. But there's a lot of people out there who may not know that. First of all, you got to understand how this shit works. You can't just say we writing for Rihanna. You know what I'm saying? Like if you don't know Rihanna's camp, if you don't know the people at Roc Nation, you're not writing for Rihanna. You're writing in hopes to get to Rihanna. So work on your relationships. That's a huge part. We've been throwing pennies at that wishing well for years, and finally Jake just got a contact that was a real contact. And ever since then, shit's been flowing like the waters of Capistrano.
I'm not mad at that one, man. I'm not mad at that one at all. So it's safe to say we're going to see more TV shows. We're going to see more movies where you're going to have your songs placed in.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be all year. We can't wait to share this with y'all.
And hopefully, like I know we got ideas, and I know he's been going out on auditions. You'll see us in movies and TV shows. So that's something we're interested in as well. And I have a TV show that I'm working on for us too. So hopefully we can get that off the ground, and you could just see Jake and Papa express themselves in a million different ways.
All right, now I'm not mad at that, because it's positive, and that's what we need more of. I think, as notorious as the music business is known to be, as treacherous as it's known to be, it's always good to see people who are spreading positive light and doing great things. And like I told you, man, that's what we try to focus on here. We're not doing the WWE. We don't, like I said, we don't go back and forth. And all our potential fans, keep that in mind when you tune into us, when you spread the word about In Studio Podcast and SMG Solar Music Group, the whole nine. We're kind of on a different wave, and we like to keep it positive. We support our people, and we support them when they do great things. Do y'all have any closing comments?
I had something on what you said, because you said the business is notorious and treacherous, and we've heard that for a long time. But I want other people, because sometimes people can be discouraged by that if they do have a dream to be in the music industry.
Right.
Prison is treacherous too. The streets is treacherous. My girl work at a hospital. There's treacherous over there too. Right. So every business that you go into is gonna have some form of treachery. So pick your treachery.
Right. Okay. I like that too, man. You guys are on point with it, and I appreciate all of the time you spent with us. We tell everybody they always got an open platform here. Anything you want to promote, bring it back around. Have your management reach out. If you want to reach out, that's no problem. However y'all want to do it within your camp, you're good to go back here. We just have one favor to ask, though.
Yeah.
All I want to say is this: when you go platinum, and when you go gold, because it's coming, we just want a plaque. That's all I'm going to say.
Hey, let's
shoot
go.
At the In Studio.
Yeah.
Yeah, First Fam Chill, First Fam Radio, and we straight with that one, brothers.
Hey, now, I got a question real quick. I want to ask the brothers real quick.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
We in the ever so changing times of this music industry and the way royalties are allocated. And now we got cryptocurrency. We got Bitcoin. We got Ethereum. How has that affected the music industry in y'all eyes, and what do y'all foresee in the future with this in play?
Well, that's interesting that you said that. I'm about to have a meeting with somebody tomorrow about the concept of NFTs. I know. Yeah. So it's we were trying to hop on it a long time ago, but it's just so much information, dog.
Yeah.
And trying to figure out. My bad. Excuse me 1 second. Trying to figure out exactly how to format it properly. It just takes a lot of understanding, bro. So
Yeah.
we're about to meet about that tomorrow because we're really interested in dropping some pieces as NFTs.
Mm-hmm.
And we just heard of a deal. I don't want to speak on it prematurely, but there's like supposedly this big deal that's about to happen, and Jay-Z's involved in it. And it's like going to be NFT centric because Maroon 5 cracked the door open, to my knowledge, on the biggest scale of the album being dropped as an NFT for like music. They're like,
oh, that's great.
Yeah, so now it's about to get popping, and it's like, you know, we definitely want to be a part of it because we have so much music. The concept of a non-fungible song,
wow,
is just dope. Like,
that's crazy.
Who wouldn't want to experience that, you know? So it's like we're about to tap into that, man. But let me get some information tomorrow, and then we'll tap back in with you.
Definitely, that'd be worth it. A lot of I see a lot of athletes are doing deals on it now. You know what I mean, and different things, and renegotiating their contracts. But I think it's going to affect the music industry like Napster once did, man.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going down, man. Everybody's soaking that information. I know I follow a couple people that give a lot of really good information, especially to our people, man. And it's Red Pill, Blue Pill, 19 Keys, like all of them.
Yeah. All right.
You know, they be really trying to give us the information. So I'm trying to soak it in, bro. I'm just not as tech savvy.
Like, I'll say this.
I literally be sitting in front of the computer like,
well, put it to you this way. A lot of us start from nowhere. That's not new to us. And we take nothing and we build something. I would say to you both, take your time, but continue to get involved with it while it's new, because it'll be worth your while. And I think y'all do very well. It's not something that anyone cannot grasp or get involved and do well in. I'm not a tech person by no means. Chill could tell you that, but I know what I know. I know what I have to know, and I know what I need to know. And I think you guys are going to be fine. I really do.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you.
That's for sure. No, thank you guys. Chill, you got anything else?
Hey, man, that was it, man. I really had a ball here, man, being a part
Absolutely.
Man, thank y'all for having us. This is such a blessing, man. We appreciate y'all. This is love and life, bro.
Gentlemen, anytime, we say this to all our guests, we're trying to do this podcast thing different. You know what I mean? We're trying to change the narrative in a more positive direction, as I said at the beginning. So anytime you want to kick back here, share something with us, promote something, push something, let us know. And
we got plenty coming for you.
Yes,
all right. We definitely going to support you from our end as much as we can. Any information that I come across, I'll shoot it to your manager. If it's just things that he might need to check into or want to check into, it's going to help you guys out. So, you know, each one teach one and we all reach one. That's how we're looking at it.
That part. I like that.
Absolutely. So, ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, don't forget Blackberry Winter.
Yes.
Is available on all platforms now. They are Jake and Papa.
Yeah. Love.
Much love, man.